Joel Embiid would clock in 2.3 million Instagram followers and make his pitch to get a little love from Rihanna.
Why should Rihanna give you a shot?
I mean, it's your moment, man. I mean, look at myself.
Before Joel Embiid would nickname himself The Process.
You must always trust the process.
Before Joel Embiid would be selected the 3rd overall pick in the 2014 NBA draft, but would sit out his first 2 seasons.
They're all still there, but it was the initial trade.
Right, you knew they would be. Oh my!
Before Embiid would sign a huge 5-year, $148 million extension, despite playing just 31 games over 3 years. Hailing from Cameroon, Joel's first basketball practice in America resulted in his teammates laughing at his skill set. I bet they're pretty tight-lipped these days. Now, his initial goal growing up in America was to become a soccer or volleyball player, ideally playing in Europe. But then at a summer camp, his athleticism was discovered, and all of a sudden it would take him just a few short years to transform into an NBA star. In 1 year, he shot up from 6'9" to 7 foot, and his ruthless work ethic would allow JoJo to turn those who doubted him into believers. Besides non-stop time on the court, he also closely studied Hakeen Olajuwon, a Nigerian-born NBA player who also started with ambitions to play soccer, but transformed himself into a basketball stud. Just like Olajuwon, who had nicknamed himself The Dream, well, JoJo would call himself The Process, a nickname bestowed on his team that would become the embodiment of him. Now, if you're a super fan of the 76ers, it's likely that you already know a lot of this information, but what you may not know is that JoJo, he killed a lion with his bare hands back in Cameroon. Or did he? What's going on, guys? It's your boy Michael McCrudden, documenting the life and career of Joel Embiid prior to fame, here for you and before they were famous. Now, in the past, we've made similar videos on other NBA stars, including his teammate Ben Simmons. Be sure to check out our athletes playlist. Lots of requests came in for this one, and I actually ran a poll on Instagram where you guys decided if I would make this video or one on Kyle Kuzma. So this is the one you picked. Let me know if he's next or someone else in the comments down below. Also, thanks to our sponsor SeatGeek for helping us out with this video. Hey, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell. Boom! Joel Embiid was born on March 16, 1994 in the African country of Cameroon. His father Thomas Embiid is a colonel in the Cameroon military and a former African handball champion. As for his mother, well, her name is Christine. Now, Joel has a younger sister named Moriel and a younger brother named Arthur, who sadly passed away after an accident in 2014. And in an Instagram post, well, Joel stated, "RIP for my brother who died at the age of 13. The bad thing is, I hadn't seen him since I left Cameroon 4 years ago, and all these days, I was just thinking about next summer so I have a chance to finally see him again. God has a plan for all of us, we just gotta pray. He's gonna be missed." With his dad in the military, Joel had a good life in Cameroon, never wanting for much. But this isn't the case for everyone in this third world country, Joel even stated himself. Over there's a lot of poverty, a lot of people don't have a lot of stuff. Joel's parents instilled in him strict discipline, not allowing him to leave the house unless it was for school or athletics, both of which he excelled at. Now, he was a standout midfielder on the soccer team and a star in the volleyball pit. He had played around with basketball, but in Cameroon, the sport, apparently, it isn't as popular as it is in North America. Games are rarely televised, but Joel, he caught a few glimpses of the 2010 NBA Finals between the Boston Celtics and the LA Lakers. And he took a particular interest in the gameplay of Kobe Bryant.
It's a rebound. Ahead to Fisher. Fisher alley-up to Bryant.
This inspired JoJo to take his first shot on a basketball net with a volleyball. From there, he would play a few pickup games at school or at a local park, but he kept his focus on soccer and volleyball. That is until the summer of 2011, when NBA star and Cameroon native Luke Richard Mahmoud, well, he set up a summer camp for local athletes. Back then, JoJo was 6'9", but he was very scrawny, weighing 185 pounds. He stood out immediately with his footwork from soccer and the aggression he had from volleyball. Still rusty and having no real knowledge of basketball or the rules, well, he managed to impress because he was ranked as one of the top 5 performers at the camp. From there, he was invited to attend Basketball Without Borders in Johannesburg, South Africa. This took place the following month.
Chose to go to South Africa for the Basketball Without Borders.
Again, Again, his lack of experience was front and center, but his God-given athleticism, it shined through, and he held his own against the best of the best from Asia, Europe, Latin America, and South Africa. Now, with an unexpected basketball career unfolding in front of him, Joel needed to get his father's blessing to switch his focus from volleyball to basketball. Now, his father was resistant, but after being convinced of the benefits of an American education, as well as the prospects of playing in the NBA, he eventually gave his blessing. He stated, "Coming to the USA was a huge opportunity for my son to establish himself. I kept pushing him to get his education and to play sports." His mother, his father, his brother, his sister, his aunts, and his uncles, they all made the journey to the Cameroon National Airport to send him off. And there were plenty of tears. Looking back on this, Joel stated, "Just imagine walking away from your whole family like that. It's not easy." JoJo arrived in Florida, enrolled at the prep school Montverde Academy, but he spoke little to no English. Luckily, several of his new teammates were also from Cameroon, so they helped him with translation when he first got there. He also became a massive fan of Rick Ross, so he would often use Rick Ross lyrics when he was talking in conversation, whenever it worked.
Legendary.
There were a few parts of American culture that he quickly fell in love with. He became a big fan of the Vampire Diaries series, he loves KFC, he loves Nutella, and he loves Shirley Temples. Apparently he drinks a pitcher a day, the non-alcohol version. Now on the court, he was still a diamond in the rough, laughed at by his new teammates, but his coach Kevin Boyle saw great potential in his footwork, and he told the team, "In 5 years you're going to be asking him for a loan because he's going to be worth about $50 million. He spent almost all of his first season on the junior varsity squad but made progress at an alarming rate. This is due to his work ethic and seeking out extra guidance from his coach. Coach Boyle instructed him to watch tapes of Hakeen Olajuwon, who developed his footwork and balance on the soccer field and didn't begin playing basketball himself until he was a teenager. When he wasn't on the court, he would be studying these tapes and he became infatuated with the Nigerian-born Olajuwon. He would even designate time each and every day to mimic his moves until he got them all to perfection. Now for his senior year, he chose to transfer to Gainesville, Florida, playing for the Rock because he would get more time on the court. As a senior, he led the team to a 33-4 record and state championship, averaging 13 points and 9.7 rebounds and 1.9 blocks per game. Within a year, he became ranked in the top 10 of all college prospects in America by virtually every recruiting service. Now standing at 7 foot, he was strongly pursued by Texas, Florida, and Austin, but he set his sights on Kansas based on the discussion with his coaches as to which school would be best to prepare him for the next level. At Kansas, he played 28 games, averaging 11.2 points, 8.1 rebounds, 1.4 assists, and 2.6 blocks in 23.1 minutes per game. Unfortunately, he missed that year's Big 12 tournament and the NCAA tournament due to a stress fracture.
Here's Embiid for a dunk inside. Oh! Embiid for a right-handed slammer!
Look at the net. I think he broke the net.
Joel was also having fun in Kansas adjusting to school. As he walked around, he was regularly stopped for pictures and autographs. Now he made friends with all the students, even the ones outside of the basketball team, and he became a favorite amongst the local media. Now a rumor did make it to print that the man had killed a lion with his bare hands back in Cameroon. And looking back on this, he explained, "Americans don't really have any idea what's going on in the world, especially us Africans. When they think about Africans, they think about us running around with lions and tigers and all those animals. When I got to Kansas, I kinda used that to my advantage, talking about how I killed a lion and that's how I became a man." He's still running with it. In fact, I was on his Instagram and this baby photo of him, he said he killed the lion just a few years later. Good for him. After just 1 year at Kansas, JoJo declared his eligibility for the NBA draft, forgoing his final 3 years of college. Now before we get into the NBA draft, I need to tell you guys about my friends over at SeatGeek. Now if you guys are looking to check out a sporting event or a concert, I have just the place for you to get the best price on tickets. Boom! This is the world's largest event ticket search engine. What they do is search all the ticket prices available on the web to find the absolute best seat at the best price. SeatGeek puts out a 1 to 100 score to let you know if you're getting a good deal or a bad one. Green means good, red means bad. Now because you guys have all been amazing subscribers, truthfully, we're almost at 2.5 million of you. Well, I worked out a deal where you get 20 bucks back off your first order. All you gotta do is use the promo code BOOKRUDDIN. There is a link down below. Alright, now let's get into the draft.
The Philadelphia 76ers select Joel Embiid.
As the draft approached, well, Joel had undergone a surgery on a broken navicular bone in his right foot. He was subsequently ruled out for the next 4 to 6 months. Now you would assume this would make a man nervous heading into the draft, but despite this, he was still the 3rd pick overall, and he looked thrilled.
The University of Kansas. He seems confused.
His first 2 NBA seasons were a complete wash, and on top of this, his little brother, well, he died in that accident. JoJo was almost ready to pack it in. He wanted to quit, he wanted to go home, but it was his desire to make his little brother, his parents, and all those back in Cameroon proud that he decided to push forward. And, well, he's fully recovered, and he's absolutely killing it. Finally, in 2016, he made his long-awaited NBA debut, and once again, he blew away the doubters.
Westbrook is 0 for 4. Quick show to go. Embiid detonates on Westbrook and stares him down.
As for the rest of the story, well, the rest of the story you know because this is before they're famous. My name is Michael McCrudden and we make all sorts of celebrity bios here for you on this channel. We have an entire playlist dedicated to sports athletes. Talking football, basketball, no hockey. I haven't done any hockey. Should I do more hockey? Let me know in the comments down below. You can find me on Instagram or Twitter. I'll see you guys in another video. Boom! Also, SeatGeek down below. I ain't telling you just for my health. I use it all the time. Can't afford them Raptors Cavs tickets though. Yikes.